So hello and welcome to all my star pupils, people coming to my pick a card readings. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the video. So I know what you guys are going to say. This is the July prediction pick a card. I am late putting this video out, but again, you know, better late than never, as they say, and you guys came here to find out July predictions. Well, here I am, and we're going to be giving you some predictions for the month of July. I want to say that this can also go to the first week of August, depending on how far. I did ask Spirit, for July or for the beginning of August. So either one, because Spirit gives us all a little bit of leeway. So I just wanted to clarify that. Also, what we're going to be looking at is this is for those of you who picked group number 1. So we are looking at some Ibiza Tarot. We have some planets, signs, and houses cards for the karmic cards that we're going to be using to kind of determine what predictions, where, what houses, what planets are going to be there pretty much. I decided to not use any type of tarot as far as the traditional tarot, you guys. I'm specifically using the Gypsy Oracle and the super awesome fortune cards. So we're using those. And then I decided to use flowers for the messages today for July, because things are just so beautiful out that kind of spoke to me. So without further ado, for July predictions, I'm going to pull the first card that we have. So this is, and forgive me for pronouncing this incorrectly, Bess or Bees or Bess. I think it's Bess actually, because it's a deity. So party time, let go, forget about everything, come back tomorrow. So this is in the planet for Jupiter, and this is a rescue remedy. Basically, group number 1, that's kind of self-explanatory. So if you are planning any birthdays in July, if you are planning any type of getaways, if you're, in Cancer season in the beginning, Leo season in the end of July, definitely a lot of partying going on. It is the summertime. So that pretty much goes without saying, group number 1. If you're planning on going to a wedding, an event, something like that, a concert series, I don't know what's going on pretty much with COVID restrictions or what's opening up, but you guys are just letting go and living life and enjoying life, group number 1, and that's going to be apparent for July. We have the Flute. So connecting to spirit, understanding and education, ritual and celebration. So life is magical. We have the Hierophant Taurus, divinity. So what's interesting about this is I was getting, as I was reading this group number 1, a lot of musical references would flash in my mind, and that with the flute I kind of think symbolizes a lot of musical interest. So if you guys chose group number 1 and you're thinking about pursuing a musical aspect of your life, either classes, training, wanting to take up lessons, wanting to sing, wanting to dance, wanting to rejoice, have a celebration, that's pretty much what you're getting with the first 2 oracle cards. So if you guys are really thinking about that, maybe July is a time that you actually do pursue that. Now, on the flip side of this group number 1, we're also talking about the situation with spirituality and what is calling forth to you as far as maybe taking up spiritual classes, spiritual lessons. If you're looking to do some divination, either using crystals or tarot, or maybe taking some classes having to do with that. So that is also a possibility with the Hierophant being present there. So this is a real spiritual uplifting situation for you, group number 1, for the month of July. So we also have, where are you guys going to a tropical place here? So this is the Island. We have alchemy, where ideas and action come together, which clearly that is the case with the spiritual aspect of things, if you guys are uniting that within yourselves. Communication with awareness creates new ideas and actions and confidence. So there is a transformation from human to superhuman. We have the Magician here. We have the Hierophant. So there's a lot what I'm reading here, group number one, is that there's a lot having to do with spiritual freedom, spiritual access to the better things in life. You guys have really gone through a lot of things as far as June is concerned. You've been opening up more. There's more for you to enjoy in life in the month of July than there has been in the past, but you're really starting to gain inner momentum of being confident, of being more spiritually aware, of understanding that you can let go of things. You don't have to continue on with the way that things have been, and that you can move forward in a different direction. I also think that I'm getting a lot of references to travel, to music. There's that whole the island reference. So if you guys are thinking of taking a trip or going to a tropical destination, or if you're thinking of just getting away for a weekend getaway trip, that might be more prevalent in July than in the past few months. But really, group number one, this is about spiritual realization and connecting to self more so than you have in the past, and you are ready to let certain things go and move on and be happier pretty much that you did for that. Now, we're going to look at the planet of what in the month of July, the planet that you specifically should be focusing on with all of these different circumstances. We have Mercury, which is interesting because we have the Magician, which is ruled by Mercury. So that's a very big planet. So that's the awareness of, we talked about the spiritual link, the awareness of spirit. We talked about the awareness of self. So communication with awareness creates new ideas and actions. So you're becoming more aware of what you basically want, and what you're trying to do to move forward. So there's that awareness that's awakening for you. Many thoughts about or from and many words. So basically during this time, because we're out of the whole retrograde situation, you guys are really going to be speaking the truth, speaking from your heart, speaking what matters to you to other people. We have that Mercury reference with the whole Gemini situation. So what you feel and what you think, you're going to be speaking your piece about things that maybe before you really haven't had a chance to in the previous months, group number one. So that's coming up for the month of July. The other thing here that I'm gathering is that there's going to be a situation where you have to analyze the situation, communicate what you're truly feeling. Someone else might come back to you, group number one, an old acquaintance, an old coworker, an old friend, an old romance basically could be coming back to communicate different feelings of the past. You have to let your mind tell you how to. So how to actually deal with those situations versus what you want to communicate versus what you feel. You should really be analyzing and looking at every single situation. If you are trying to take a trip, if you are going to be learning something new with that whole spiritual aspect, with music, with anything having to do with the flute reference in this, that's going to basically be very communicative or actually be communicated to you. So you have to analyze what you're looking at or what you want to get out of these interactions, or how is it going to help you or benefit you. So that Mercury retrograde, group number one, must have really, really hurt or hindered you guys from really moving forward, from being able to get past things, from being able to move on and move forward. So this is really the time for you to be communicating those new ideas with people, communicating your inner truth, having the confidence to move forward, and then that transformation is going to happen. Now, I'm also sensing, group number one, if you did choose this, that you're also going to be looking to tell people your dreams, your aspirations, what you're looking to do. You want to be at this point free of judgment. So if that is the case, group number one, then by all means continue on with what you feel if you don't want to have any judgment. Now, the thing is that you have to, I feel like, analyze the situation too, group number one. Spirit's telling me that you have to analyze who you tell things to, who is going to be receptive to your new energy and who is going to hinder your new energy. So looking at the oracle cards, we have the blender. So I'm not surprised by this because In reality, you have to really be conscious, group number one, of how your words can end up in a mix, how your personality can end up in the mix of everyone. And the thing is that sometimes we don't want to be unclear of what we truly feel, but at the same time, we have to also trust who we're talking to. What is going to be happening in July is that you're going to be mixed up, literally, about a lot of different things that you are feeling and thinking. And the truth is, with the blender, it shows you that you have to get unmixed about things. You have to become clear on what you're looking at, who you're telling things to, who you're communicating with, what you're spiritually feeling. I mean, let's be real, group number one. This ain't a blender to make margaritas in, okay? We know you want to go party, you want to have a good time. That's not what this blender is referring to. It's referring to the communication and the spirit of you being mixed up in a situation that in reality, group number one, you don't need to be in. So whatever that situation is that you're trying to get out of or communicate to someone about, you don't need to be in this situation. My heart's telling me, and so is my with spirit, group number one, that this has to do with an old romance or a romance that you're currently having, that there's a lot of misconception, a lot of miscommunication, and you feel like you're literally being kind of taken up in this blender, which is why you have to sort out your feelings from your mind. You could also be partying, so take it how you will, basically. Yeah, so children signify friendly disposition and gentleness. So we're also dealing with a situation where you're having a lot of childlike innocence happening here, which shows me that this relationship that you're currently in, group number one, and in the month of July, it is going to be a new romance, a new friendship, a new situation that is just starting to unfold, that you're not really getting the whole picture on this situation. We can kind of look and see what's going on there. You're in the new stages of something, group number one. Either, you know, the romance part of it, it could be that you're trying to date this other person, get to know this other person. I'm really strongly sensing it's a relationship, and that you are just in those beginning stages. And the truth is that you don't have enough information to conclude what is going to happen. So we have the spaceship, which is not a surprise either. So this, I love that little squirrel guy. He's so cute. So we have this whole situation with the blender, with the love aspect of it, but we also have the otherworldly presence. So what this is referring to is that this relationship that is starting here, be it with yourself, with romantic interest, with whatever is going on, is very new. So this new feeling of spirituality, which is going to lead into the flute, the spaceship also signifies spirituality, that is going to be a new thing for you, a new thing that kind of opens up that you're going to want to explore more of. However, with the spaceship, we have to be cognizant of the fact that what we find out is really the bare truth, is really what is going on. So you have to be able to handle what is happening, handle what you're going to see, handle what is on the other side of knowing, of the truth, of, you know, finding that situation. So whatever happens in this new beginning, group number one, you have to understand in July, you are going to come to the truth, the situation. You are going to feel like you are an alien, an outsider to other people, because you are communicating something to others that others might not understand, because you're trying to get spiritually more in sync with yourself. You're trying to take action with something. So you're going to come to the truth about someone else or a situation that you were not expecting, group number one. You were not expecting that was going to happen. So we're turning this into, the stork denotes change of residence for the better, sooner or later, according to the distance which it lies from the person. So in reality, this is another thing which makes me think of this with the spiritual situation and with the partying, with the traveling. So the thing is that on the spaceship, we can also denote travel in some type of way. It could be spiritual, group number one. It could also be physical. So if you guys are looking to change, or move in July, that would also be very, very helpful to communicate your ideas of actually traveling or moving to a different state. We kind of get travel with the islands. We get the travel with the situation. Spirit was also talking, thank you, Spirit, was also talking to me about travel. So that's another situation where that could be indicative of that or of moving. So the sign here we have is Taurus, which is interesting. So this is your beliefs, the costs of, use the most direct way. And if you're a Taurus coming to group number 1, this reading is going to be more important. Or if you have a sun, moon, and rising, resources to maintain the practicality of it resulting from the productivity of. So the thing that's interesting about this is we have the Mercury planet, we have the Taurus planet, which basically, or the Taurus sign, excuse me, which is slow and steady, wins the race, you guys. So in July, if you're thinking of moving, if you're thinking of going to a different place, if you're thinking of having something that is different, you have to understand what your resources are, what you're looking at. I really have to say that I think that this has to do with a trip that's being planned or a place that you're going. I'm just really getting that vibe from the whole situation with the island, with the fact, we got the blender here that might not be for margaritas if you're not a drinker. It could be whatever you want it to be. Okay, so I'm really getting that sense. Or it could be that you're moving to a different destination entirely. So you have to understand, what are your resources? What are you pooling? What are things that you can do? This is also great for relationships, the whole situation with Taurus, because you have to understand too, what are you pulling from the situation with this? What is going to be helpful for you in a relationship? Are you spreading your resources too thin? Are you giving too much? Are you not giving enough? So this whole balance with the Hierophant is really, really important, you guys. And we have the sun, which is indicative of happiness, of joy, of merriment, of being at sea. The sun, the island, I don't know. I see you guys maybe like going to Florida or going to some place, or just kind of getting away for a little bit, going on a trip to the tropics. I don't know why that's coming up, group number 1. For the month of July, we have the sun here. So that's also too very fortuitous. We want to look at this as, Taurus being the manifester of abundance. We want to look at the sun as being that sort of bright sunshine, that fortuitous situation. So if you guys do move or plan a trip in July, it will be fortuitous. It will work out. Now, we also have illness here, which is indicative of the fact that if you guys are really spreading yourself too thin, you're feeling too much, you're having so much pain go on with trying to do things, with trying to communicate, with trying to move or do what you want to do. The important thing here is that you can speak your piece and speak your mind, group number 1, without having to feel like you are jeopardizing yourself as far as illness, mental, emotional, physical. So if you feel that you need to kind of keep your plans under wrap, that is okay. Do not feel the need that you have to tell people what is going on or what you're kind of feeling. If you want to make it a surprise for someone, just kind of think of that so that you don't also make yourself sick in the process. So we have the number 9. The birds signify dire misfortune and fierce enemies when near, if far away from the person. Now we have to remember too that this is with different card numbers, so that we have, a chance to avert the evil spell. So what's interesting about this is that it kind of reminds me a lot of, with the misfortune and the illness, the fact is that group number 1, I can strongly sense from July, the main point here is that if you do not tell the truth, to make that connection, to make that flow with the spirit and with the person of what you feel, or of with that communication or awareness, you're going to cause illness for yourself. You're going to cause a lot of deception, which you don't want. You want to be very honest honest, group number one. Honest with yourself, honest with other people. And that way you can avoid the misfortunes, or you can avoid the darker times if you literally get a plan in place. Taurus is all about planning, you guys. It's all about planning for the future, planning for what you feel you need to bring abundance. And with that sun and with that spark, you guys will be able to move forward, but you have to do some planning and careful communicating. Now, with spiritual endeavors, group number one, if you guys are looking to marry the spirit and the human soul together, you guys also need to understand that there are lofty ideas to spiritual approaches, and then there are more logical ideals. So don't just start with manifesting like to the 10th power. Start off slow. Start off with step by step of manifesting. Get a manifestation book. Get an abundance book. Get something that gives you some information about spirituality. Like if you're learning about crystals, or if you're trying to look into some of my 101 videos, just start off slow. Don't feel like you have to do everything at such a pace that it's like, I gotta get this done. I gotta do this. Don't feel that way, group number one. You don't have to. Okay, so we have the bride ensures for a single person the fulfillment of their highest aims when near. If distant, it's a turbulent married life. So this is actually very fortuitous, you guys. If you guys are looking and you are single, if you are in a relationship with someone, you are trying to fulfill your highest achievements, your highest feelings, what you feel, what you think. That is a possibility if you can get that Taurus under control. Now we have the breakup. So this signifies to me, group number one, couple different things we have going on here. We have literally the breakup of what you think you have in July. So that could be a new relationship, a new job, a new situation, moving to a new home, possibly traveling. You are going to find in this experience in July that there is going to be a breakup, either physically, romantically, emotionally, however you want to call it. You know, there's going to be a breakup of the party, possibly, where you're going to come down to reality and realize what you're looking for. Or there's going to be a breakup of who you thought was behind you, who you thought was in your best interest. That is going to come to light, and who is causing you this pain, this deceit. If you were causing it yourself because you couldn't get a plan in place, group number one, that is going to become apparent in July, that there is going to be a breakup that ensues. And we have the Tower. So no surprise here, when we see a Tower in any type of denote, it means a literal breakup, a literal shakeup, if you will, that is going to tear down the very thoughts of what you think you could do. So we have the Tower surrounded by clouds denotes sickness, and if adjoining death. We do not have any death cards in here, but we do have the illness. You guys, I really, really want you to consider that if you are going to transform your life in any type of way in July, with be it moving, relationships, job, coworkers, anything like that, you have to keep your health in mind. If you are not feeling up to it, if you are not feeling up to the party, okay, we literally don't want you to get sick with the blender either, and you all know who I'm talking to. So if you feel that way and you feel like there are just too much, self-care is also very important. So while you're trying to plan your future in July, be it with moving, traveling, whatever, make sure to kind of guard yourself, both spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Kind of take a little bit of a break, and don't really make yourself so sick that you have to have all these plans in place, because the universe is going to help you, group number one, to see things through, to see what is very, very important, and kind of move you from there. So don't feel like you have to do this, group number one, all by yourself. So we have the 4th house, which is, as you did in the past, your home base or family. Do what makes you feel secure. Very important with the illness cards. Do what makes you feel secure. And what makes you feel secure? here. So that's another good one. When you want some support, your home base or family. So the thing that's great about this too is that if you have a strong family, a strong support system, friends, coworkers, people that you can trust and rely on, the people who you want to tell your inner dreams to have to be within that circle. Group number one, you guys all know what I'm talking about. If you got a burning desire inside of you where you're like, listen, I want to win the lottery and go to an island and literally make margaritas all day. Okay, that's great. Tell the people that you are closest to and who can respect your vision, who can respect your situation, who can respect what you truly feel. Those are the people in this fourth house, the people who are strongestly close to you. We talk about the fourth house in Cancer, which is no surprise because we literally have Cancer season going on. So if you guys are really thinking about family, support, security, you want to tell this vision to someone who you can trust. So really keep that in mind, group number one, moving forward in July. If you are trying to get a new romance, most likely I think this is traveling and getting a new home, new career. You want to be able to tell those closest to you so that you're not causing yourself the unacquitted illness of the pressure of trying to achieve that in July, but also to understand that steps have to be taken. This is not going to happen overnight, and to move forward. And we have the zinnia, so we have absence. So what is not here is the key. So this is very important, group number one, for the month of July. Think to yourself, what is not here is the key. So if you are literally wanting more money, a better career, better relationships, better whatever the situation is, if you're wanting to become more spiritually in tune. So if that is not present in your life, that is the key. Now, here's the other flip side about this. If the people in your life are absent who cannot support you, group number one, there is a reason why they're not here. That's the key. You do not want to go to people right now who cannot inspire you, who cannot give you your dreams in the month of July, who cannot really fully support you. So keep that in mind as well. Group number one, I really hope that this did help you. As always, please like and subscribe to the videos. It helps me to continue with the pick a cards, know what people are liking out there. As always, comment down below with anything. You know, if you did take a trip, if something did happen, you know, if you do like margaritas, just don't comment so much because I'm sure there's a ton of people out there. If you are, you know, not taking a trip and you're doing something else, you know, comment whatever, just, you know, make it be reasonable. But I will talk to you all soon.